Eric Swalwell has officially dropped out of the race for California governor, but I don't want to focus on his affairs, the alleged abuse, or even his hypocrisy. To me, the story is exposing why so many people left the mainstream media, and why that exodus created a new class of media personalities who are just as willing to lie to you as the outlets they claimed to be replacing. So, as I'm sure you've seen in the news by now, Eric Swalwell has dropped out of the governor's race, where he was probably going to win. This came after about a week of facing calls to drop out amid multiple sexual assault allegations stemming from many different women. But as I said in my opening, I don't want to focus on that. He's always seemed like a slime ball to me, so this is no surprise. What I do want to focus on is the sudden rush of reporters coming out and accidentally admitting that they knew about this for years and chose to keep it hidden. Like this one, Steven Tavares, who admits to covering Swalwell since his first congressional run in 2013. Tavares says that Swalwell's conduct towards women was known by all levels of the local government and the local Democrat Party. But did he report on it? Nope, Swalwell ran anyway and ended up in Congress. Or this one, a Bethany Allen. I'm not sure what she does now, but she was a reporter at Axios, focused on stories related to China. She was the first to break the story of the Chinese spy Fang Fang, who China had sent to California to get close with rising political names, one of which was Eric Swalwell. That was a good story, but in this thread of tweets, she admits that she intentionally withheld information about Swalwell and Fang Fang's sexual relationship. For years, Swalwell was able to deny any real relationship with Fang Fang, saying that she was just a staffer he got rid of as soon as he learned of her Chinese ties. But Bethany Allen, who broke the initial story on Fang Fang, knew that there was much more to the story. Did she report on it? No. Why not? Because apparently that wouldn't be related to her beat, because it's more of a Me Too story than a story about China. Are you kidding me? She's a China reporter, and a sitting member of Congress having a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy isn't considered part of your beat? Give me a break. Now, maybe this is a bit of a stretch. Just kidding, no it's not, but I think that Swalwell was able to get away with this for so long because he is a Democrat. Do you think that if a literal Chinese spy was sleeping with John Thune, Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance, or even some no-name like Mike Flood out of my state of Nebraska, that Axios would sit on that story? Absolutely not. It would be front page of every paper, and every single Republican would be asked about it. But with Swalwell, the story doesn't hit until he's running for governor, and someone would rather have his opponent get elected than him. And this isn't the first time that mainstream, supposedly independent newspapers and outlets have hidden things from us in order to help Democrats. Remember the Hunter Biden laptop? That was supposedly all Russian disinformation. It wasn't real, we were told. It was just a laptop that the Russians somehow put photos of drug-addled Hunter Biden inside of. Or look at Cuomo's handling of COVID in New York. He issued a directive requiring nursing homes to accept elderly hospital patients who were still testing positive for COVID. Later, New York was caught lying about the official death toll and fudged the numbers on nursing home deaths. But the media did not cover that until someone accused Cuomo of sexual assault. Then, all of a sudden, the media knew all about his mishandling of COVID, and it led to him being forced to resign. And this is exactly why we have seen the rise of independent media. It's why people like Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon, and Megyn Kelly can leave their formerly respected institutions and start a podcast that gets bigger audience than they ever had on cable television. It's why people without a journalism degree like Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring can start billion-dollar media companies like the Daily Wire. It's why, hopefully, I can turn my background in law into a career of talking about and writing about politics for a living. It's because people have lost trust in the institutions that were supposed to be giving us unbiased, traditional news. When people lose trust in the supposedly unbiased, they turn to people who are honest about their biases. At least, that's what I did when I got tired of Fox News back around 2020. I was living out of a hotel in Norfolk, Nebraska, and noticed that guys like Tucker, who was on Fox at the time, would only say what they thought their audience would like. Then one day I turned on the Ben Shapiro show and I heard him criticize Trump and tell his listeners to go listen to Pod Save America to get the Democrat opinion on the same issues. That felt honest to me. That felt like something I wasn't getting from the cable networks. And many people felt the same way that I did, and they started leaving the network news. But unlike me, many people were unable to discern who is telling the truth and who is going for maximum clicks. Which is why, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'd like to see a return to the mainstream networks, if they can change their ways. I say this because so many people just automatically started associating independent with honest. People assume that if you aren't on a major network or a major outlet, you must be honest. That's why Tucker Carlson has had so much more success since leaving Fox, despite him leaning into the exact problems that made me leave Fox in the first place. He says what his audience likes, meaning that he is captured by his audience. Whatever will get him views, he leans into. That's why he claims it's illegal to criticize Israel in this country while making every single topic of his podcast about Israel. That's why people like Candace Owens, who gets caught in so many lies that it's hard to keep up, she can grow her audience after she leaves the Daily Wire, which somehow is now seen as a mainstream conservative outlet, despite only being around for 10 years. But some of these people, like Tucker, have figured out what the old mainstream outlets figured out long ago. People can be manipulated. They can be led to certain viewpoints depending on what you tell them. That's why places like Axios, CNN, or MSNBC refused to cover stories negative of Obama or Biden. But now that so much of the audience has left the mainstream, guys like Tucker have figured out that they can employ those same tactics. Lean heavily into one viewpoint, criticize those who disagree, and even sometimes outright lie if necessary. And all you have to do is claim to be independent, and you'll earn the trust of those who left the mainstream media. What has happened over the past 5 to 10 years is this. Mainstream media betrayed the trust that they built up by hiding things. Then, independent media exploited that trust by pretending that they're immune from the same incentives that the mainstream is. But the incentives are the same: money and power. Mainstream media didn't want to criticize Democrats because they feared Democrats would turn off their shows and then the Democrats would lose elections. Now, independent media claims to be about the truth, but the truth to them looks a lot like whatever will give them the most viewers and therefore the most influence: money and power. So in the end, who do you trust? It'd be easy to say nobody and move on with your life, forgetting about politics. But you need your news from somebody. So whether it's mainstream or independent, ask yourself these questions before deciding if you should trust that person. Do they rely on sources? On my channel, I show you the receipts on screen as I speak to you so that you can see them. I tell you my opinion on things, how I think things will turn out, but I do so based on evidence, either historical or current. I don't say, I don't know, but I know no. At the very least, I don't hinge my entire argument on that like some people do. Ask yourself, do they only criticize one person or one group of people? Or do they spread their criticism around wherever it may be warranted? Do they give praise when it's due? Or do they ignore anything good that happens if it goes against the narrative that they built of that person? When they are wrong, do they admit that they were wrong? Do they leave room to admit some complexity to situations? Or is everything framed as good versus evil? And do they try to use your faith to manipulate you into going along with their preferred political talking points? It's fine for some to say, hey, I don't think these tariffs will work out, but let's see what happens. Or I don't love this war, but Trump hasn't been wrong yet, so let's see what happens. It's not good to say, if we strike Iran, we will be in World War III. And then when we strike and nothing happens, to ignore it and then start saying the exact same sort of thing the next year. To bring it back to Swalwell, this story shows us exactly why mainstream media has disappeared. Because they decided that some major stories weren't worth telling. But now independent media has realized that they can capitalize on that distrust of the media and spew their own lies, as long as they sound anti-corporate media. In the end, it's up to you to decide who is really telling you the truth and who is trying to manipulate you into a specific mindset. Subscribe and like the video for more from me. I'm trying to build a brand based on honest, reasonable takes and not the performative outrage you get from so many online these days. And I try to bring you new perspectives that you aren't hearing elsewhere. If you feel like I gave you that today, subscribe so you don't miss my next one. With that, I'll see you next time. Thank you.